Hello, good evening. My name is Ahmed Billah, and I am presenting on balancing global integration and local responsiveness in worldwide marketing. First of all, we define global marketing, which is defined as the coordinated process of planning, pricing, promoting, and distributing of goods and services across national boundaries to serve diverse worldwide customers through a unified strategic framework. The discipline requires firms to navigate a fundamental strategic tension that is standardizing for efficiency versus adapting for local relevance. There are three theoretical frameworks with regards to global marketing. And the first one was discovered in 1983 by Levitt, and his thesis indicated that, or it argued that advancing technology was converging consumer preference globally, creating a homogeneous world marketing. Firms that embrace standardization gain decisive cost advantage over those that adapt to superficial local differences. The Theory 2, which was also in 2002 by Bartlett and Ghoshal, argues that competitive firms must simultaneously achieve global efficiency, local responsiveness, and worldwide learning. No single strategy suffices. Organizations must build network structures where subsidiaries contribute to and withdraw from a shared global knowledge base. The third one, which was also in 2019 by Prahalad and Dawes, also says that responsiveness framework plots firms on two strategic axes: pressure for global integration versus pressure for local responsiveness. And this yields four strategic positions, that is global, multi-domestic, international, and transactional, each with distinct cost and competitive implications. So there are drivers for global integration, and for global integration, these four drivers are economies of scale, and then the second one is global brand consistency, and then the technology and digital efficiency, and then standardized supply chain, centralized research and development. That is under the economies of scale. There are centralized research and development, manufacturing and procurement dramatically reduced per unit cost, enabling competitive global pricing. Standardized processes also improve quality consistency across all markets. And then under global brand consistency, uniform brand identity builds worldwide recognition and trust. It also has consistent visual language, brand, voice, and positioning, also reducing total market expenditure while strengthening consumer recall across borders. Under technology and digital efficiency, that is shared digital platforms, AI-enabled content tools, and global CRM systems also allow firms to execute consistent worldwide campaigns at significantly reduced cost. Then let's go to standardized supply chain, where global logistic networks, standardized supply contracts, and centralized inventory management reduce operational complexity, lower costs, and enable faster product launches in new markets. And then these are also drivers of local responsiveness, which has to do with cultural and religious diversity, legal and regulatory requirements, local consumer preferences, economic diversity, and affordability. And this also says that when you move into a local market, say when a company is trying to move into a local market, like say a product like Coca-Cola is trying to move away from its original base, which is Ireland, into Ghana, it also has to put into consideration some of these local responses or local responsiveness. And so the first one is, like you said, is cultural and religious diversity, which has to do with consumer values, religious practices, social norms, and aesthetic preferences. Under legal and regulatory requirements, advertising standards, that is where it has to be looked at. Product safety regulations, data privacy laws, import restrictions, and labeling requirements vary significantly by country. Of course, it varies because you can't say that your labeling worked in country A and so the same labeling is also going to work in country B. No, you have to understudy all these things when you move into a local market. Yeah. The third one has to do with local consumer preferences. That has to do with what the consumer or the customers prefer above what you are or what the market already has, something of a sort. That is product feature preferences, price sensitivity, purchasing channels, and brand relationship expectations vary across markets. Under economic diversity and affordability, the significant variation in purchasing power across markets requires adapted pricing structures, smaller pack sizes, and locally appropriate financing options to make products accessible to the target consumer base. Impact on operational decisions. Under impact on operational decisions, there are actually one, two, three, four decision areas which has to do with product development, marketing, communications, pricing strategy, and distribution. And under these decision areas, we also will look at its global integration and its local responsiveness. So under product development, global platform and shared architecture, standardized core reduces research and development cost. Under the same product development, there's and the local responsiveness, there's local feature customization, packaging, safety compliance, country-specific regulatory requirements. Marketing communications on this area under global integration, there's unified global campaigns, consistent visual identity, centralized creative hub reduces duplication. Under its local responsiveness, there's localized language, culturally resonant imagery, locally relevant influences, and media platform selection. Under the pricing strategy, there's global pricing corridors to prevent gray market arbitration or arbitrage. Under its local responsiveness, there's local price points aligned with purchasing power. Under distribution under global integration, there's centralized global 3PL partnership, standardized inventory, and yeah, and then under its local responsibility, there's local channel partners, and then localization, last mile solutions, and all of that. There's a case study under balancing global integration into local responsiveness, which has to do with we are going to be looking at Unilever, McDonald's under this global strategy practice. Under Unilever, there's shared global research and development, procurement and manufacturing platform, sustainable living plan implemented consistently worldwide, master brand architecture across 400 plus product brands. Under its local responsiveness, there's product formulation adapted for local water quality and climate, sachet economy pricing for low-income markets in Africa and Asia. Under McDonald's, with its global integration, there's global golden axe, unified global visual identity worldwide, and then there's standardized hygiene, services, quality, and food safety protocols. Under its local responsiveness, there's Makalo Tiki in India, even though it is under the same McDonald's, Mac Rice Indonesia, Teriyaki Burger Japan, halal certified menus across all Muslim majority markets. Critical analysis and academic debate. Critical evaluation of key theoretical positions. For Levitt, homogenization thesis versus cultural resilience, and then there's also transnational model theory versus operational reality. And there's also the strategic recommendations. One has to do with we adopt, or the company has to adopt transnational model organizationally. Two, invest deeply in local market intelligence. Three, deploy a modular global brand architecture. Harness AI for personalization at global scale. Legalize ESG communication authentically. In conclusion, we say that this analysis has demonstrated that the tension between global integration and local responsiveness is not a binary strategic choice, but a dynamic management challenge requiring continuous calibration. The most competitive multinational organizations are those that master the transnational model, simultaneously achieving global efficiency, local market relevance, and worldwide organizational learning. So there's global integration, local responsiveness, transnational model, AI, and digital tool, and future imperative, which has to do with firms must invest in organizational capability, not just strategic position. So this is my presentation. Thank you so much.